Okay, we're on. We were having a little technical difficulty, but I'm sure it's just one of the background programs taking all our time or something. But we got it going. So, where I was explaining the long pattern, where it came from. So, but it's important to realize that now with the string shapes, okay, so instead of looking at this as an S3L here, which would be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 root 2, we look at it as just a D to a C, A to G, here's cage, C, A, G, E, D in string shapes. Okay, the D string shape being 2, 3, 4, the C string shape being 3, 4, 5, the A string shape being 5, 6, the G string shape being 6, 7 root, okay, and the E string shape being 7 root 2. All right, so now the E shares that 2 with the D when it goes again to caged, goes to 2, 3, 4. So there's shared notes in caged. And then we get the long pattern. And I noticed years ago that the long pattern could be useful for something, and indeed it's useful to get us away from the fret nut. Okay, so that we could do the long pattern there. So where would the fret nut go here if we were going to invoke the long pattern? I don't know. Let's say we are dealing with the key of D here. Okay, so in the key of D now, we know we have 2, and then we have G. We have D, G sharp, and the root D there, right? Hopefully. I mean, I'm saying hopefully this is what we got here, right? Because this is a 5-string pattern here. The 7L, the original 7L is a 5-string pattern, so it only goes up to that top D there. Okay, now D's the root. Okay, that kind of thing. D is now the root there, and then we have the F sharp there. Okay, but actually, it should be, if we're doing a D here, okay, that's looking more like an A there. Okay, so we've got our D here, our root here, and if this is the key of D, we should have this. This should be easy. This should be very easy. So let's do what we have to do here. So let's go to cursor mode, and let's bring this whole string up. Okay, so this is how we debunk errors here. Okay, this is how we debunk errors here. Oh, we didn't warp it over. Oh, good Lord, we didn't warp it over. That's why we can't get our D shape. See, I knew it was something. Now we've kind of debunked it. That was the debunking. We didn't warp it over. Okay, so we've got our 6-string action here. And now we're going to warp it over, warp the pattern over the top 2 strings. All right, 1 fret there, and what do we got? Now we have our D shape. Key of D, E is the 2nd, A is the 5th, D is the root. Okay, now it's starting to make sense. The 4th of D is G, the G string, the open G string would be D. The G rather, the open G string would be G the 4th. And then we have the A is the 6th, which is a minor third, a major third above the 4th there. So the 6th would be the B string. B is the 6th. I see 6 and I think A, because the 6th of A, the 6th of C is A, and then the E again, and there's our D. Okay, there's our D. We have it. It's A, D, F sharp right there. Okay, so we've got that, but guess what? We can't do the lead pattern. The lead pattern, now I can do it. I can do it because I down-tuned my guitar. So I'm starting on the E here. I can do the lead pattern. Okay, so it would be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then over here for the 7 root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 root, 2, 3, 4. There's the D. Okay, and of course we look at the 1, 4, 5. We got the D shape goes to the fourth is a G shape, the fifth is an A shape. That's shape fitting. So the fourth would be a G shape. The fourth of D is G. Fourth of D is A shaped A. We also have that. But we can't get these notes with the lead pattern, you know, with the finger barred pattern, which you can get on most of the fretboard. So what we do is you use the long pattern. Now, how does the long pattern go is very important. Again. Okay, so we're going to look at the long pattern. I have to have some coffee because it's cold and it's so hot here. We're going to look at the long pattern for a second. I'm just going to plaster it right here so we can't miss it. Okay, there's our long pattern right here. So we're in the key of D here. So let's go 2 to 2. Okay, but before we do that, you know, because we're going to end up with the same situation that we were just looking at. Okay, what we want to do is find a situation where we have 5, 6, 7, root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That would be our long pattern. And why can we get this pattern and we can't get it if we're just doing like you know, or something like why can we not get the long pattern? And that is because this is a caged ladder, so there's 2 caged positions per string here. So what I want you to know here is that here's our long pattern. Here's our S3XL. And we know where we got it from. We put together something like this monstrosity. And this came up in the middle of it. And I decided to use this pattern. Hey, wait a minute. Here's some whole notes and all. But how are we going to use that? So I think the first thing to look at is very important. How do we get into it? We get into it with a D pattern, and we were just looking at the key of D, so that would be perfect for this. So we're going to start on the lead pattern, go into the long pattern, and then we're going to come out of it on an E. So we go into a D and come out of it on an E. Now we should know that if we, you know, we got to start somewhere. So we start on the D, you know, we're going to go into an A pattern. And the funny thing about it is this 5, 6 here and this 5, 6 up here. I'll tell you what, I'll change the colors for a minute and we'll put it like on A color. Look at this A string shape right here and this A string shape right here. And you notice we've got duplication. Anywhere there's duplication, you can substitute into that pattern. So we can just go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, root 2. Notice we come out of that S3L with an E shape. So here we go. We're just going to substitute this whole big pattern into this 5, 6, and we're going to come out with what? An E shape. Okay, so we're back at our D here. Guess what we're going to start with? The D, the key of D. This is the key of D. We're not messing around here. This is no D-shaped C. This isn't. This is D-shaped D. Key of D, D-shaped D. pre-qualified